Hi, and welcome to Classic Advice. My name is Scarlett Classic, your host. I'm so honored that you press play on my episode. This podcast of mine, I share my life stories and eventually the lessons that I have learned through my life with the hope and the aim that we don't feel so alone going through life and going through these tough times, because we all go through them. And I think sometimes we forget that we're not alone and that we all really struggle and deal with these challenges no matter where we're from. I've lived abroad. I've lived here in Canada, where's my home country. I'm an Albertan, born and raised, but all across the world. And I have listeners from all across the world. And we all seem to, we're all human and we all struggle with the day-to-day life things that aren't necessarily really talked about. And if you're one of my older listeners and you're coming back after my little brief sabbatical here, thank you. And I just, some of my listeners, they reached out to me and I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate when you guys reach out to me, and it's that connection to know that we can lean on each other. We're all in this together. And something that I recently went through that I'm going to talk about in this episode is we've all been betrayed, I think, at one point or time or another, whether it was when we were kids or adults. When we make friends or when we have even family members that we trust and that we expect this certain relationship to have this mutual respect and this mutual understanding that they're not going to hurt us intentionally. Now, of course, we're all human, and of course, there's been times when I mess up and I do something that has hurt whoever, my kids, my husband, my friends. We all mess up, 100%. But when someone that we trust, that we put our trust in, that we've given our time, that we've gone out of our way to do things for, or what have you, this relationship, we completely trust this person, and wham, they do something that is so incredibly hurtful and painful. It rips your heart out in a new sort of way. And this happened to me recently. And by recently, I mean, it's been a few months, but that was one of the reasons why I needed to take a break from my podcast. And I apologize to my listeners that I went AWOL with no explanation at all. There was a few different factors in my life that played into it, but that was definitely one of them. Was this person really, really hurt me. And some of my older listeners will already know this, but I have struggled with depression in the past, in that state of being depressed. And I found myself after this incident with this person that I was so utterly, it just shocked me, because I thought that this was the last person in the world that would hurt me, or one of them anyways, and I was stunned. I was so shocked that it happened. And I'm not going to go into detail about the who, the what, the why, because I don't want to do that. I don't believe, even though this particular person, what they were doing was they were talking very badly about me behind my back and spreading lies about me. That's basically the short, sweet version without getting into the nitty gritty. I was just so, I didn't even know how to process it. I really didn't know how to, and I know I've talked about processing emotions on my show before that. And processing your emotions, when I went to therapy, he kept telling me it's just sitting with the feeling, with the ick, with those feelings that you don't want to feel. You can turn to alcohol, you can turn to drugs, you can turn to movies or video games or anything to just not think about it and not feel that awful heartbreak, because my heart was breaking. But I chose instead, I said, no, I need to feel it, because I found myself slipping back into that depressive state because I was turning that switch off. I was turning the switch off and not feeling it. And then I started, when you've been depressed before, and it's a pattern. It was a coping mechanism of mine that I would just turn everything off and not feel anything. But you can only do that for so long, or at least I can only do that for so long before then I don't feel anything. I don't feel happiness. I don't feel joy. I don't feel the good. And I want to feel the good. We all do, right? So at the time, I let myself cry. I let myself feel it. And as I've mentioned before, I started a new job. I've been being sent out of town. I'm actually out of town right now. I brought my laptop with me and my headset, and I was like, you know what? I need to get back into the swing of things. I need to get back into my podcast, because it's either keep going with it or just quit altogether. And I didn't want to do that. So here I am in my hotel room talking to you guys. But it was long hours with this new job, and with my emotional chaos that was happening in my personal life. There was only so much of my energy to go around, and that's why I chose to take a little bit of a sabbatical from my podcast. And I think it was good for me at the time, because I think if I didn't take a break from it, how I coped with this betrayal, like one of the ways, letting myself feel it, but just taking a step back from things that weren't a must. Like, obviously going to work is a must. I just took it, like, I just relaxed. I took a while to just and decompress. And it seemed to work because the way that I feel now is a million times better. And when I think about the situation and the person, I'm not even angry anymore, because it was like I went through the different stages of grief, which I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but I know that the anger is one of them, and I was definitely very angry. And I didn't really go through denial, but it just, when we go through betrayal like that, it's so hard to even know what to do. And there was a particular night that me and my husband were going to see this person, and it was a group setting, which was perfect because it wasn't like a one-on-one situation. But I was nervous, and I felt sick to my stomach, because now I was going to see this person, and I really didn't want to. I didn't even want to go out that night when we left the house, but I said, this person isn't going to control my life. This person isn't going to stop me from going out and enjoying my other friends. So when we were, like, my husband was driving in the Jeep, and I hooked up my phone to the stereo system, and I flipped through my songs, and I found that one that I can't remember the name of the song off the top of my head, but it goes, I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright, baby, I'm gonna have the best freaking night of my life, da 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 da. And I cranked it, and you know what? That song is freaking amazing. I absolutely love it now. And you know why I love it so much now? It completely changed my mood. And I just kept playing song after song after song that was upbeat and happy. And I walked into the building and I had one of the best nights ever. It was awesome. I didn't really interact with this other person at all. I just spent time with my other friends and I had a blast. And yes, there did come a point of time when I confronted the person and I said, "Why did you do this? Like what did I do to deserve what you did to me?" And you know what the person did? You probably know. They denied everything. I didn't do that. And just from the way the circumstances and everything that was said and everything that blah 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 blah, I knew that they were lying to my face. So what did I do? I was very civil with them. And because I'm sure I will run into this person at some point in time, I will be civil. I will be whatever. I'm not going to hold a grudge. Because to me, it's not even worth my time. This person is so, it's not worth my time. It's they're not worth my energy to get mad or upset or hold a grudge. Not worth my time. I'm not even going to go there. But I'll be civil. I'm not going to chat them up unnecessarily. I'm not going to spend any amount of time with them more than I have to and blah, 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 because that's just, I don't associate with that kind of person. If someone turns around and does something like that and spreads lies and mean things, saying mean things that were utter nonsense, you show me your true colors, and I don't have the time of day for that. You want to be like that? That is perfectly fine. You do you, but I don't need that in my life. I would much rather have one really, really awesome friend that I know has my back, that I know isn't going to turn around and talk a bunch of crap about me behind my back, than to have 1,000 friends that do stuff like that. And I think we can all agree on that front. Nobody wants that, right? And I'm sure, like, it's just, yeah. So that's kind of what happened. And yeah. Life is rough sometimes. And I want to ask you, how do you react when something like that happens? I purposely didn't confront the person right away, and I purposely didn't even see the person right away because my anger was at a, 10 out of 10. Like, how dare you do this to me when I did I did nothing to this person to deserve that. When I mess up, I will own it, I will apologize, and I will do my best to make it up to the person. I am not above saying that I'm all perfect, because I am not. Do I mess up 100%? I do. I know I do. And when someone points it out to me, I will apologize and try to fix it. But you can't do that or with someone that won't even own up to their mistake or whatever, right? So how do you cope? How do you react when someone does that to you, when someone betrays you like that. Our reaction when things go south is what we have control over, how we react. I think I did a timeless truth on this. Our bad things are going to happen. Things are going to be out of our control, right? That happen to us. How we react to that situation, that's where we have the control. That's where we need to put our focus on, because that's where the control is. And I remember my mom would always say, anger is a lack of control. When you lose control over something. I lost control over my, what's the word? This person attacked my character by spreading rumors about me. That's what I lost control over. I am thankful that the rumors were not believed. I have really great friends that way that had my back. But my reaction to the situation, I'm glad that I took the time and I didn't just go talk to the person right away, because I would have been really hot-headed and I would have been very, very angry, and it probably would have just exploded. I'm thankful that I took that time to calm down and to realize that it was okay to take a break from, say, my podcast, to just, because I was not in the right frame of mind to come and give you guys all advice when I was so down and numb and I don't even have words for it, just in a state of being like that. And it was okay. I kept telling myself, like every Wednesday, I'd be like, oh, I missed another week. Oh, I missed it. Oh man, it's already March now. I haven't released since, I think, December. It's 3 months. Like, I gotta give myself a kick in the butt and get my act together and do this. But during those months of being off, especially in the beginning, I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay to take a break and take a step back and just focus on the must-dos for now. While I be angry, while I just process these negative feelings. I think the thing I'd like you guys to take away from my crazy life and how this whole situation went down is that it's important to take the time to feel and don't rush that healing process. I felt like I wanted to get back to doing the show way sooner. And I was putting pressure on myself, but then I thought about it and I was like, I gotta give myself a little bit more time to heal, because I want to come to you guys. I mean, I don't want to say my best, but I want to come to you guys when I'm in a better frame of mind to give you quality content as opposed to just spitting something out that is below par, because I was not at my best. So emotional healing is so hard. You know, you fall, I fell today. I tripped and I biffed her. Yeah, I fell. You know, it's that kind of thing. You get up, you brush off, you're like, oh, well, that kind of sucks, but, well, let's keep going. When you fall down and you hurt yourself or whatever, like it's that kind of, you put a Band-Aid on and you go about your day, and eventually a couple days, your cut's healed and yada, yada, yada. But emotional healing, you can't, just like physical healing, you can't, there's only so fast a bone will heal. There's only so fast a physical hurt or a wound or whatnot will heal. It's the same thing with emotional healing. You can't rush it. And you can't, and by you I mean we we can't rush it. It takes it, and everybody's different. It takes time, and everybody's different. Someone, might bounce back from something like this in 5 minutes. Well, okay, maybe not 5 minutes, but faster. My husband is way, I would say, quicker at coping with this kind of thing than I am. So just because, Joe takes 2 days to get over something and you're taking 5 weeks, don't be hard on yourself for that, because everybody is a little bit different. And it's important to take the time to process it and just feel the ick. Feel the ick until you're all out of tears. And then you'll probably move on to being angry like I did. And then eventually you'll be like, you know what? This person isn't worth my anger. This isn't even worth my time being angry about, because I'm just giving them more of my time. They don't deserve more of my time. Right? Yeah. That leads right into the challenge of the week. I challenge you guys to feel the ick, feel the anger, feel the pain. Don't take that out on anybody you're not supposed to be taking it out on, but let yourself feel it. Give yourself time to heal. Don't put a time stamp on it. Say, oh, on such and such a day, I'm going to do it. No, I've been feeling for like a couple weeks that, hey, I think I'm ready to get back at it. I think I'm getting ready to, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm doing better. And it just so happened that tonight was the night that I stepped back into my podcast. Don't put a time pressure on yourself. And, oh, I'm going to be better out, March, whatever day it is, 11th. And, because it's, just take that pressure off yourself and don't put a timestamp on it. To quote my dear friend JJ down in Maine, and thank you JJ for sending me an email while I was on my little hiatus. It was lovely to hear from the few of you that reached out to me. To quote him, he has a podcast, What's Your Ripple? And he always says, please pause, love yourself, and be aware of your ripple. We all have a ripple in life, and let's make it a positive one. All right. I would love to hear from you guys. As always, my website is classicchronicles.ca. If you go on there, you can scroll to the bottom. There's a little place in there you can write me an email. I love hearing from my listeners. It's always really great. I do work really long hours. I apologize if I don't get back to you right away, but I will definitely get back to you. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that I can keep this consistent at a weekly basis. I sometimes work out of town and I have absolutely zero service. So if I miss a couple weeks, I do apologize, but that will be why, because I don't have any internet. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening with me all the way to the very end. You guys are the best. My listeners are the best. I love you guys. And hopefully I will be back next week. I have so much I want to tell you guys and share with you. So until then, all right, take care, you guys.